And welcome back. Match 2, Star Fraction versus Molotov Coalition. For Star Fraction, we have 1 Dominix, 2 Ishtars, and 2 Rooks. And Ninja, what we got for the Molotovs?
Molotov Coalition looks like they've brought out 3 Megas, a Maulus, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Griffins.
Interesting setups on both sides. We haven't seen, well, we've seen 3 blaster. Those Megas are obviously blaster setups, and we've seen that before in the tournament. But we haven't actually. I can't remember seeing 1 Dommy, 2 Ishtars, 2 Rooks before. You know, it's a very strange setup. But obviously the mid slots from the Dommies and the Ishtars could be well used for dampening. Right. You have the cycle jamming from the Rook, so obviously we're going to see. I think we're going to see a jamming dampening cycle on the opposition ships.
Right.
So those Megas may find an inability to lock, and then once they get the ability to lock back, I think it's going to take them a minute or so to lock one of the bigger ships.
But if they get on top of any of those ships, it's over.
We don't see a Hugin from Star Fraction, so there'll be, unless they've got some Weber drones, which I doubt, we're not going to see those Megas inhibited from movement. If they get on top of any of those opposition ships, it really is game over. Those Megas are already hitting the Rook. They must be within strike distance. So we didn't know the starting distance, but I'm assuming it must be around.
Yeah, they've primaried that Rook, and without logistics, it's dropping very fast.
Yeah, and they've actually got their turrets on it. They can actually, and it's webbed, it's dead.
Right.
We are about to see the very first ship go down, you know, before we had a quick chat about this when we saw the setups, and we did actually feel that this was could be a win for the Megathrons, which is an unusual, you know, 3 blaster ships don't win that often.
Right, it's not something we usually see.
But here, the left-hand setup relies so heavily upon getting those jams in early and getting the dampening cycles working.
Well, you're trying to run 2 Rooks against 8, 9 ships, and if you miss your cycles, it's over, especially with those Megas as powerful as they are.
We're seeing some damage. We are seeing some damage applied to the Molotov Coalition. We are seeing their Megathron, who will be armor tanked, of course, not even out of shields yet, and one of their Griffins in around half shields. We are seeing the second Rook webbed. It's dead. You know, as soon as it reaches structure, it's popped. I think we'll see. But now they've lost such a big part of their tactic. With 2 Rooks down, it means that their jamming will be virtually impossible from here on in.
2 Ishtars and a Dominix isn't enough DPS to take out these Megas in time.
No, they'll of course they'll have cap boosts in the mid slots. Probably at least one of their high slots will be a remote repper, maybe even 2.
That Dominix is bleeding into armor very, very fast.
He's actually virtually dead. Don't look like he has a tank unless he's going to be honor tanking with some. He's dead.
This is the problem when you rely on your ECM.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, the drone damage from 1 Ishtar, 2 Ishtars and 1 Dominix isn't sufficient, I don't think, to break 3 battleship tanks. They brought this out hoping probably they're going to be facing 10 Tech 1 ships. What they've actually faced is a very heavy tanked, very, very heavy DPS set up on the right-hand side. Those support ships, the Griffin, the Maulers, will be playing havoc with the targeting systems of the opposition side. And then, because there was no inhibitor, no movement inhibitor, so no Hugin, no Rapier, the Megathrons are free to move. They get on top of those ships, and really,
with only 1 Ishtar left and a fail to focus fire, it doesn't look like they have any chance left.
Absolutely, you see actually some armor transfer going on there. So we can now confirm that the battleships, the Megathrons, were running some sort of armor transfer, remote armor repping setups. This is a surprise loss. Star Fraction going down very easily to a total hell death, the first one of the tournament. Yeah. Not one ship looks to us at this moment, not one ship lost from Molotov Coalition, and everything slaughtered, absolutely slaughtered. From Star Fraction.
Good showing from the Molotov Coalition.
Absolutely. And you know, this is a big step down from the heady days of knocking Bob out of the last tournament.
Right.
Well, that is that. And we will pass you back to the studio and Spiral Junkie immediately.
A very impressive showing there. Now, we all called Star Fraction. They turned up like, well, they've only got 5 ships. Oh, okay, that's not a great setup. And then we saw 3 Megathrons. You're like, 3 Megathrons is very, very painful. Calm down.
Yeah, I mean, the way the points go in this tournament, from what Nova said to us and speaking to Mindstar, they've tried to make battleships more viable.